man, it ain't about her. It's about us. I love you, man. Nino.
I start this video off with a mention of our Sith Lord Master in our class. It's kind of an inside joke, but the teacher of our class and the students know exactly who I'm speaking of. There's something that happened in the class the other day that I thought was noteworthy because it speaks to a brotherhood, one that you heard in New Jack City.
To CMB, on and on. Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
There's a portion of the class where guys are doing speech ops, which is explaining your process for how you're doing what you're doing to someone who may not be as knowledgeable about your process as you are. And in this particular part of the class, Nino Brown made a visit.
What has this done to us, G? Huh? Keisha?
A younger gentleman went first. He was a bit shaky on his confidence, and when he finished, what happened was emblematic of a true brotherhood. Instead of protecting his feelings, the Sith Lord, in this case Nino Brown, was straight with him, and he told him what he needed to hear so that he can build himself up. In essence, iron sharpens iron, the opposite of what happens in the modern day sisterhood.
The real issue we have with this, on top of the financial issue and the fact that many of us, our parents, aren't actually going to leave us much, if anything at all, is that the women aren't even honest about the environment and that they actually need you, particularly black women.
I bind you, dusty demon, that you will no longer afflict the minds of the young men today. I bind you, dust demon. Red pill men with mics. Dusty podcast, I bind you.
Their ego won't say, hey, I need you and I need you to help me. I need you to save me. I need the life raft. Because of the power dynamic of saying I need you.
I bind you, bald-headed, pot-bellied, cheap, ugly shirt wearing passport bros.
So what they try to do is shame you into it with, well, you're a man and that's what you're supposed to do.
Mama say, mama sa, mama kusa, we call that dust out. Yes. Ain't gonna never last.
Well, you're a man and that's what you're supposed to do. So instead of saying, look, I graduated college and it's not paying what I thought it was gonna pay. Plus, I don't actually like this job anyway. And I'm in student loan debt up to my eyeballs. And I really rather not be working an extra 10 or some odd hours of overtime a week.
Passport bros, toxic masculinity with no money to back it up. Sprinkle, sprinkle, fake alpha male with no money.
Dear black man, come help me, please. Come save me, please. I'll get down with your program. How Obsidian say it, horse trade.
Let's go on and have the conversation. It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion.
Unless you've had your head in the sand, you're probably aware of this district attorney from Atlanta who is slated to argue cases against one of the candidates in the next election, all the while dealing with her own pressing legal issues in terms of some of the alleged behavior that took place in her personal life, which may affect her judgment depending on who you ask. But that's not necessarily my question about introducing her into this video. She is in a place where she has the financial capability to say that for her, a man is not a plan. A man is a companion. But the truth is, that's not necessarily possible for most women, although it is quite championed by other women, i.e. the sisterhood.
I don't know what the defense attorneys thought this was going to be, but let me tell y'all the exact moment I knew the girls were in danger.
Calder's the next witness.
I would ask, I need 3 documents in front of me, and they're the 3 filings of Ms.
You can see that for some, the demeanor and behavior illustrated in the courtroom is being celebrated. And it speaks to the idea that for a large group of young ladies, wanting to be in her position is the ideal position. The only problem, of course, with that is it doesn't fit the math. But that doesn't stop anyone from celebrating.
Let me break that down for everybody. When a witness you are cross-examining, mind you, walks to the stand that confidently, and before they even sit down, they start telling the court and telling everybody what they need, and everybody's scrambling to get them what they need, edges are about to be snatched. I was hollering the whole time. She really said, mwah, no cross-examination.
And Adrix says, entrepreneur with median salary for Yale at 88 and 84,000 for Harvard. Well, I mean, if those two people marry, then you bring in home over $160,000 a year, right? Over $170,000 a year. But what happens when you're a black woman and you're earning, like Trail said, $39,000 a year? How do you compete against the married couple from Yale or Harvard that's bringing home $170,000 a year?
But for men, of course, the old role of, well, I'll just provide while you raise the kids, that's out of the window too. And so men's role in marriage and what it means to be marriageable, to use a slightly ugly term from social science, is very different now for men from what it was in the past. And women are looking for something much more than just a paycheck.
And you telling black men how they're not on your level, and you're not doing struggle of, and you're not doing potential because you watch your mom do that with your dad or your stepfather.
The point that Mr. Z is making is one of simple economics. There's going to be a small group of high-performing women that don't need a man, but there's going to be an overwhelming majority of young ladies who do. And he's speaking directly to the fact that that math cannot be challenged.
So you're making 39 now. At the height of your working life, you're going to be earning some 50 some odd, maybe 60 if you're lucky, maybe 70. You're bragging about this home that you just bought, and you live in a country where the white woman that was selling you on that feminist crap, she got married, and she got married a decade or so before you.
What we have is what my colleague Isabel Sawhill calls one of the main class fractures in American society. No one expected that it was Americans with the most choice and the most economic power, and especially the American women with the most choice and economic power, who would be the ones who were continuing to get married and stay married.
She got married at 28, 30, 32 years old. She earned $80 some odd thousand a year. Her man earned a little bit more than her.
There's a very slight decline for those, say, with four-year college degrees, but a really big decline for those with less education. The typical college-educated American woman is almost as likely to get married as her mother was, and if anything, a little bit more likely to stay married than her mother was.
At 80 some odd, 90 some odd, 100,000, she's selling you on female rights and female power and entrepreneurialism and all that, right? That's what she's selling you on.
So there really hasn't been much of a decline in marriage at all in the top ranks of American society. Meanwhile, significant declines lower down.
Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Actually, as late as 1970, most women who went to college in the US, which was a minority, of course, but most of them were married within a year of graduating college. That's a world that's very difficult to fathom now.
She's selling you on that. Meanwhile, she's married to the white dude and they earning 170 together. You're earning 40 something by yourself, 50, 60 something by yourself.
One might question why I'm using Nino Brown as a model in this particular video, but whether you like the guy, good or bad, organizations of men operate on actionable information, i.e. the truth. And so even if you don't like Nino Brown, he operates on the principle of give me the most up-to-date news, don't betray me, and I'll make you rich. Unfortunately for many young ladies, the environment around them is telling them that they need to go after guys that have a lot of money, and it's leading a lot of young ladies into an unfortunate direction simply because they're not being told the truth.
I'm a hoe.
Yes.
And then you describe what that means.
So let's elaborate for
Yeah.
people that are confused at what you mean.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So I started out as a sugar baby when I was 19. I used to work in corporate advertising. So I was a senior associate. I worked on Bud Light. I worked on Lyft, Equinox, you name it. And at the time, interning in advertising didn't pay like anything. So I'm working like 100 hours a week, making no money. And my friend from elementary school was like, there's this website. It's called Seeking Arrangement.
I'm like, damn. So you actually in the prison. Wow. Like seriously, like she was actually selling down there to some of them cats that got money in their lockers, and I just go give them.
But then I got recruited to work for like a full service agency in New York while I was working my corporate advertising job. And then I was doing that. Then I went independent, started an OnlyFans, and I started talking about the sex industry on TikTok and volunteering with a lot of like sex worker organizations. And someone was like, hey, would you ever consider doing mainstream?
Like seriously, like she was actually selling her to whoever has.
So then I started doing that, and I filmed with like Bros, Team, a bunch of other companies. So yeah, Now I'm like kind of like a multifaceted
That's
hoe.
a nice resume.
Now I'm like a multifaceted.
She's like, let me just
hoe.
give you
On the weekend visitation, I have girlfriends, baby mamas bringing money. They drop off $200-$300. They drop off cash, and so these dudes were saying, "Hey, I got a CO that'll give you for a couple $100."
Okay, because I'm an 8 to 80 dumb, cripple, and crazy myself, right? Mm-hmm. 8 to 80 dumb, cripple, and crazy.
Say that again one more time slow.
8 to 80 dumb, cripple, or crazy.
Okay. Oh,
Who I would,
What that mean?
Meaning that there's a wide range of different types of men that I may have been with in the certain point in my life before I became engaged.
And instead of black women saying, hey, let me work with a black man, maybe even he earns a couple dollars less than me. Oh, I said it. Oh, yeah, Mr. Z said it. I don't know where y'all get off with this. We're the only women told to settle. Why black women always told to settle? White women aren't told to settle. Instead of you working with a black man, he earned 43, you earn 55, y'all make something work. He's beneath you, fine then. Go try to bump Becky off so that you can marry her man. Have fun with that.
Tell you how we can make it right.
What Mr. Z speaks of alludes to something that's more sinister. This message, a chorus, if you will, to young ladies that you can be a boss bee and you can do it all by yourself, and that marriage is some sort of oppression. And if you are having trouble being a boss bee by yourself, just fudge the rules morally. You can dabble into different kinds of work where you use your physical body in order to supplement your income. And all the while, there seems to be a group of people, ladies in particular, that are essentially removing competition from their men's dating pool.
All that, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle type talk. Yeah, that sounds nice. And these women, they sell y'all on. I told y'all Bowser was a petite bourgeoisie elitist, and she's gonna sell y'all on. I said that back in 2021? Excuse me, not 2021, 2022. Dear ladies, dear black women, these feminists, both the white ones and the black ones, but definitely the white ones, they sell y'all all on this female power. You don't need no man, right? Then they turn around and get married to okay men that are doing well financially or at least educationally, and they go sell out in the sunset while they sell y'all on that. Rebecca Traister, Bowser, all of these petite bourgeoisie black women selling y'all on it.
I know that there's some who take issue to men and women communicating to each other in the space, but I think that there's a positive to having young ladies in the space, if not only for just this one reason. When men disseminate the truth, it is the truth without an agenda. This is what it is, boots on the ground. We're telling you that there are certain young ladies or certain people that are playing a game with other women that they're not playing themselves. And if that information gets disseminated out, then in some form or fashion, it's going to have an effect on the greater situation, if you will.
CMB, man, we all we got.
I gotta keep on bringing up the radical feminists. If they're not in same-sex loving, dear black women, if these women are not insane, at least you gotta give Princella that. You know where she coming from. At least we know she in a same-sex loving relationship.
Am I my brother's keeper? Yes.
Reflecting back on our class, I had the opportunity to see a younger man get counseled by an older man, and not by coddling or telling him lies, but telling him the truth. In essence, iron sharpening iron is one of the beautiful things that happens when like-minded men gather together and test each other, is that each man gets pushed not by just what he can do, but his morals, his way of thinking, a variety of things get tested. And one of the unfortunate things about the way that women do things is that women compete in a different way, where we see Shera 7, who is completely married. And she may, in fact, be someone who every single night cooks dinner and has the table set and cleans the house and washes and presses her husband's clothes. And all the while, she may just be on the internet saying things that are going to get her clicks, because people want a certain type of information, in this case ladies, that reinforces things that they want to believe, namely that men are to be milked of resources and they're not very much capable of loving in a certain way, so you need to render them into resource-bearing beings in order to make your relationship with them worth it. But what's the truth behind her actual relationship? We will not know that. And just like many of the other relationships that we heard Mr. Z mention, Many young ladies out here are playing a different game, especially ladies that are better educated and have the resources to maybe possibly do it by themselves, but understand pairing that resource bundle with another man is going to take them so much further. And what is the best way for a lady to increase her pool of guys to date? Tell lies to her competitors, something that many men can see through. That's why I say the sisterhood is lying to many young ladies. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.